In this video, we'll be going over how to fix your cold email campaigns. This is a guide going over how you can diagnose, fix, and scale your outbound results. When your outbound stops performing, for a lot of people, when their campaigns stop performing or they are poorly performing, the temptation is to rewrite everything. However, you don't need to always do that. I'll show you a better way to diagnose them and actually start extracting better results from your campaigns. Ask these questions first, right? Whenever a campaign isn't working or poorly performing, you need to isolate which of the four fundamentals is the problem. Now, keep in mind there can be multiple weak fundamentals as well, meaning you may have an issue with email deliverability and list building at the same time, or you may have an issue with campaign strategy slash copy and offer at the same time, or it could be that all four are bad, right? That's a horrible scenario, but hey, it could be that as well. The good news is that it is fixable. Now, email deliverability. Are emails actually reaching the inbox? That's first, right? Ask yourself that first. Number two, are you targeting the right people? Is the list sound? Ask that next. That's number two, like I showed here. Number three is your message resonating? You need to test that. And number four is the offer resonating? Is the offer good enough for them to say yes to? Ask these questions first to start figuring out how you can actually fix these campaigns. Now, step number one, check deliverability. This is the first thing you need to take a look at, right? Because this is what breaks first a lot of the times. Key metrics to monitor. Reply rate, excluding out of office responses, should be a minimum of around at least 1%, right? Including negative responses. Your bounce rate should be under 3 to 5%. You shouldn't be getting too many 550 errors as well. This means that the recipients think you're spam, which is an immediate red flag, right? If people are responding, even to say no, no thanks, get lost, fuck you, or whatever, that means your emails are landing. If bounce rates spike, if it's going above 4 5% and it's going to like 6 7 8 even 10% sometimes, or you see a lot of 550 errors, then stop the campaign immediately, pause it for now at least, and then let it cool down, right, for a little bit. Run spam tests with Glock apps or something similar to that. Check the domains with MX Toolbox or similar tools to see if the domains are blacklisted, right? But you don't need to obsess over that. Check if open rate drops suddenly as well, if you're tracking that, of course. We don't track them anymore because it's a vanity metric. It's pretty much useless, right? In my humble opinion, that is. There are some edge use cases to it, but usually it's not worth it to track it. Now, are you following through the fundamentals properly? This is a question that you need to ask yourself as well. Are you ensuring that the emails are being sent in plain text? Are you ensuring that the list is clean? All those different things. You need to check those first and then see if your infrastructure and deliverability is solid. Now, that's step number one. Step number two is evaluate your list quality. Before you blame your copy, you need to find first 10 things that are wrong with your list or 10 things that you can do better. If you can't find 10, then you didn't look hard enough. Now, common list problems, mixed job functions, right? For example, you mix a bunch of different personas together, right? You mix VPs of sales with VPs of, vice president of technology or finance, or you mix multiple personas and titles together, right? That's not really the best approach. Industry filters, if they are too broad, right, then you'll see poor results. If you are mixing together wrong company sizes, that could be a problem as well. If the data is outdated, then hey, that will affect your bounce rate as well because your increased percentage of your emails will start bouncing. If there are a lot of catch-all emails and domains that you can't validate as well, that's going to contribute more towards the bounce rate, right? It's going to increase the bounce rate, which is a negative impact. If you are not reaching out to the relevant job titles, right? Let's say you want to only reach out to founders, owners, and CEOs, but you're also reaching out to, the list is also comprising of assistants or coordinators, then of course, right, that's not a really good list, and that's going to just lead to poorer results. It could be that self-reported LinkedIn data is inaccurate as well, right? It can be incorrect, right? Maybe the industry is incorrectly categorized or things like that. That can also poorly affect, negatively affect your list quality. So, here are some questions that you need to ask. Is your TAM on LinkedIn first? First, ask that. Is your TAM on LinkedIn? If not, then standard tools won't work really well. Are you targeting the actual department decision maker? Are you just reaching out to someone random? Right? You don't want to reach out to anybody randomly, someone in the department, right? You don't want to just reach out to someone in the department. You want to target the actual decision maker. I hope that makes sense. Is the company size is the company size range too wide, right? 100% companies are completely different to 10,000-person companies, and 10% companies are completely different to 100% companies. As the size of the company increases, the complexity of decision making and all those different things start increasing as well. Did you validate the emails properly? Like I mentioned before, you need to validate them. If it's not validated properly, then your bounce rate will increase, and that's just negatively going to affect your inboxes as well. Double verification is recommended here. What would I do? Well, I would validate the emails first with something like Lead Magic and then double validate it through or double verify it through something like Million Verifier. Now, if you're sending to catch-all domains or catch-all emails, don't do that, right? Unless you have double verified them through something like Bounce Bank. There are email verifiers that are specific to catch-all emails, right? They are specifically engineered to verify catch-all emails. Use those verifiers, verify those catch-all emails first, and then based on what those tools tell you, you can reach out to them or not reach out to them as well. So the fix is pretty much covered fixes, right? You, of course, to make the list better, you can rebuild your list with title filters. Add account level research before adding contact level filtering. You can also use triggers, right, such as new enroll, if the company is hiring or not, if they have a specific technology installed or not, and things like that. You could try scraping LinkedIn engagement or groups for self selected audiences as well. So, yeah, that's how you deal with the lists. Step three, diagnose your messaging. The fundamental question that almost all people have in this world is what's in it for me? Your job should be to make the messaging convincing enough for them to actually see the value in your solution, how you can actually help them, and it should be convincing enough for them to actually have a conversation with you, right? The goal is to sell the meeting, right? You're trying to sell the meeting, you're trying to sell the conversation. The goal of your outbound is to increase the number of conversations that you have with your ICP, right? So that's the job. That's the target. Here are some campaign performance benchmarks. Aim for at least one positive reply per 500 leads or 500 contacts reached out to, and aim for at least a 25% lead to meeting book rate, meaning at least 25% of your leads or positive replies should turn into a meeting. Of course, you can increase that through having proper subsequences and follow-ups in place, um, calling the leads, having higher speed to lead. There are a lot of different things that you can do there, but for now, aim for at least a 25% lead to meeting book rate. You can also follow this diagnostic framework, right, where you run through a batch system. Batch number one is where you run tests with AI powered messaging. You start off with a lookalike campaign where you do case study matching, right? You take your best case studies and then you create a lookalike list of them, and then you match the relevant case study for each company, right? So that's the lookalike campaign with case study matching, right? I hope that makes sense. You can also try the standard sequence with AI generated relevance. Try creative ideas, where you have AI generate 3 custom suggestions for the company that you're reaching out to. If these don't work, then that means that you validated that AI personalization alone isn't enough. You move on to batch 2 in that case, where you test triggers and list changes. You check if they're new enroll, whether they're hiring for someone, right? Tech stack changes, whether any recent tech stack changes. Did they receive any recent funding? Were there any headcount changes? Any relevant signals that you can leverage? Boom, test that out. If triggers don't improve results, then the underlying offer might be the issue, right? Which is when you move to batch 3, where you test various different value props and formats. Test all four core offers, right? Where you save time, save money, make money, reduce this, right? Any ability offer at the end of the day ultimately does that, right? They either helps you save time or save money or help you make more money or reduce the risk. So test all of these 4 core offers. Try chunking up where you test different broad strategic outcomes, and also try chunking down where you test very niche tactical pain points as well. Try using different templates, poke the bear, you keep the email super short, you do some pack finding and things like that, right? Test different templates as well. If none of these work, then you might need a new front end offer. Now, you move to batch 4, right? Where you test hunted lists and offers. You scrape LinkedIn engagement of followers, you try feedback campaigns, you try even pairing for meetings. That could be something you can do as well. Or you could also try and offer to do work for free as well first. If even these don't work, then cold email might not be a channel right now. So, yep, that covers message, that covers diagnosing your messaging. So, here are some key diagnostic indicators. Signs your campaign is working, getting any responses, even no thank you, right? If the reply rate is around 1% or higher and your bounce rate stays low, you're getting at least some positive responses, even if conversion is low, then that means that your infrastructure is still good and your campaign is working at least somewhat, right? The signs to change copy. When do you change copy? If you're tracking open rate, then if people are opening but not responding, then you probably need to change the copy. If you're getting responses like no thank you, not interested, fuck you, or whatever, then that means the infrastructure is sound, you're inboxing, right? But no one cares about the offer or the message, right? So that means that you need to change the copy and possibly the offer as well. If no one is asking questions about your offer, then you need to change your offer as well. Here are signs to change the list. There are very few opens if you're tracking open rate, that is, right? And if your bounce rate is too high, then that means you need to make changes to the list as well. If there are responses coming in saying wrong person, no, I don't work at that particular company, why are you even reaching out to me about this? I don't work there. Things like that. If you're getting responses like that, then that means you need to change the list. If there's extremely low engagement across all copy tests, then again, you need to start thinking about changing the list as well. Signs cold email isn't your channel yet. Even after you test 10 plus campaign variants across different batches, if you're not seeing decent results at least, then that's a sign. If you can't get responses even when offering to pay for meetings, then that's definitely a sign, right? If you can't get a response to 3 valuable offers, then that could be a sign as well. If your TAM is too small, then maybe cold email at scale isn't the right approach for you. If you are selling something viewed as nice to have versus need to have, again, that's a sign that cold email might not be a channel yet. Most campaigns fail because the offer isn't differentiated enough. That's number one, right? If your campaign doesn't work after multiple tries, then you need to start implementing some changes to your offering as well. Most campaigns also fail because wrong market timing. People don't need you right now, and no amount of emails will change that, you know? Or it could be that you're targeting too broad, right? You're targeting too broad and you need to niche down to find out who cares most. It could be also that you're not understanding buyer risk, because in a lot of cases is if this works, I get a pat on the back. If it fails, I get fired, right? A lot of decision makers face the scenario or situation. So you need to be able to understand the buyer's risk as well. So don't overthink. What I would recommend is don't overthink it. Test systematically, follow the data, and be willing to admit when cold email isn't your channel, right? The goal isn't to make every campaign work, it's to find the campaigns that do work and scale those. You're basically like a mad scientist, trying to test different things and then figuring out what actually works. And then you take those and then you scale them. If you need some help with auditing your current infrastructure, then click the link below to book a call. I'm happy to look through your current setup and see how we can improve it. With that being said, talk to you soon and see you in the next video.